The Science Centre Singapore is going to be hosting the world premiere of DinoQuest starting the 1st of June. Now, the exhibition will be the first ever to showcase the Tamimus dinosaur. That's a tyrannosauroid discovered back in 1994.
It also is set to take visitors back millions of years to the Cretaceous period to encounter the Australian polar dinosaurs with the help of cutting-edge experiential technology.
For more, who are we joined by? Steve, tell us.
Yes, Professor Patricia Vickers-Rich, a paleontologist who discovered the Tamimus at the Dinosaur Cove in 1994, together with her husband, Professor Thomas Rich. Thank you so much for coming in, Professor. You're also the curator of the exhibition.
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, so it's great to have you with us. So tell us a bit then about how this sort of exhibition is sort of divided up. We understand there's different themes in different zones?
Yeah. And the thing that I really like about it is that when you go into it, and you must come, you will become a scientist yourself. Yeah. And that's what is very special about it. And it's not just a bunch of dinosaur skeletons and lots of panels, but DinoQuest shows how a scientist works and how a scientist can change their mind about things if they get more information. So it's different than any other dinosaur exhibition that I've ever had anything to do with or that I know is out there on the market.
So very much just the intention is to draw in or draw out the curiosity of people coming to visit and sort of get them involved in the learning process.
Indeed, and give them the power to think that they can observe and they can make up their own conclusions and come to a conclusion. And one of the things that I really, really like about it is that when you go out of this exhibition, you get a certificate that says you have done this, this, and this, and you have a chance to color in, to give coloration to your dinosaur. Or to your flying reptile, or to your giant amphibian that lives in a lake, and you better watch out because it's very fierce.
Well, I'm up for anything that increases my powers of observation. And more scientists in the world. We need more of those. So tell us, Prof, that one of the main highlights, the most updated reconstruction of the Tamimus. What led you and your husband to discover this in Dinosaur Cove in '94?
Both of us are interested in other things than dinosaurs. He's interested in mammals, and I'm interested in birds. But saying that, birds are dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, the T-Rex lineage gave rise to dinosaurs. Well, no, the T-Rex gave rise to birds, not dinosaurs. And so we were paleontologists, and as a child, I was just interested in biodiversity. I was interested in insects and things like that. And I think this exhibition is really, it just really reflects my own attitudes and the attitudes of, you know, DinoQuest, Design Format, and the Science Centre is that kids have the ability to make observations and come up with their own conclusions, and they should be taken seriously and encouraged. Don't just memorize things, but basically, and also taught to be passionate and taught to encourage to be mindful of other people. Don't say, I'm the greatest or anything like that, but say, I've got an idea, I want to share it with you, let's talk about it. And so cooperation, and that, again, is the epitome of DinoQuest. It's a cooperation between the people who are doing the animation, the people who are doing the virtual reality, the people who are the scientists, the people who are the science educators. We all respect one another, and we've had such fun putting this together. And it really is something different than is out there on in the rest of the globe.
Now we can give our viewers a sneak peek here because you've actually brought in some items with you. So let's get to these some casts of not the real things. I understand, thankfully, with no risk of damaging them as we pick them up. But talk us through them. I'm sure there are going to be some names that we're going to be tripping over.
Well, I'll have to put up one of my children's dinosaurs. This is Tamimus. This is a hip bone, a femur. So it's about the same size as yours and mine.
So then the dinosaur the Tamimus is about the same size as us?
About the same size as you, but would have a long tail and would have a mouthful of teeth that are a little bit different than yours.
You should have seen me in my teens.
And it's named after Tim Rich, who is our son, but it's also named after Tim Flannery, who is a climate scientist that probably a lot of people will know. Why did we name it after him? Because Tim was in the field, our son, was in the field with us from the time he was a little child, and, you know, he was tortured by having to break rocks and things like this. Tim Flannery was one of the ones that discovered the first bits and pieces of the bones that led us to Dinosaur Cove, which is where this one came from.
Okay, well, it's lovely to have a dinosaur named after you.
Yes.
What else have you got?
Well, the other one here is a little skull, which is wonderful. And it is, the thing that's really interesting, this is named after our daughter. This is Lielana Sora, and I know you were having trouble pronouncing that.
I was.
It's understandable. But what's really important about this is there's a partial skeleton that goes with it, and this is the skull, this is the nose going in that direction. The little arrow points to the impression of the brain, because when we found this, we found it was in a block that was broken, and that was the top of the skull, but it peeled off, and we had the impression of the brain. And those are the optic lobes, which is the sight processing the signals coming in from your eyes. Those are huge in this particular group of dinosaurs. Why are they huge? These were living near the pole, the South Pole, when Australia was much further south. She could see in the dark. She really had very, very good, well, at least we think so. That's what our interpretation is. Yes.
That's the theory.
Yes.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. And if you could just give sort of one sort of sales pitch, what would be your sort of request for people to, or what would you hope people take away from a visit to the DinoQuest?
You do. I mean, you find out what bone. There's about 5 different bones that are given, and you get a little tag that you dock in with, and you go through. And when you get to the end of this, you find out, you discover yourself what it is, and then you're able to get a printout of what your animal looked like. You color it in, and then it goes up on the screen so that everybody can see it, and it's there either flying around or running around or whatever. And as you go out, you get a certificate of achievement.
Fantastic.
But you really have achieved something. You have yourself done the science. You know how the science works.
Wonderful.
That is what we're really on about, and that's what makes it very different.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing it with us, Professor Patricia Vickers-Rich, curator of DinoQuest at the Science Centre, Singapore.